Sort of unexpected developments in my querying journey. Sway With Me is officially out. Links and stuff will be down below.
If we could run it back, and do you wonder if we could run all of the things I didn't know? I had to get out down the road inside of the same old
Hello, I have a pretty chill day today. Writing has been just really weird lately, and I would try to have a bit of a reset day. I think I'm going to be trying to make some progress on my short fiction, because short fiction is usually a good writing thing that I can do that doesn't feel like tethered to any particular goals. Yeah, I just want to write for fun today. I don't know, I deserve it, and I feel like I need to find something joyful to write again. So I'm going to try to make some progress on my short story. Right, my Ana Luisa package has come in. As usual, I've ordered 3 pieces. I have 2 earrings and a necklace. I feel like I'm really obsessed with earrings this year. I've been wearing earrings every single day. I actually got really excited when the package first came in, so I've already opened one of the earrings, but I will start with this pair. Really pretty, they are gold. I'm gonna take off this protective layer. Oh yes, just gorgeous. Ooh, these ones are really nice. I kind of don't even want to take them off. I love it. Okay, let's look at the pair that I have already opened. So I'm trying to buy more silver jewelry. It's these really pretty kind of geometric style earrings. What I really liked about these, because I've been wearing these every single day since I've got them, is that they're nice and small. These ones are the go-to, I think. And I'm really excited because I also picked up a new addition to my necklace collection, which again I've already opened because I got really excited. As you guys already know, I'm a huge fan of Ana Luisa. I shop a ton from them even before I started partnering with them. I'm always really excited when I get to be part of their campaigns. They currently have some really awesome summer promotions. So now's a really good time to start building out your jewelry collection or adding in some new everyday essentials. I really like that their collection feels like a one-stop shop for me. I feel like I can always find a style that I really like, ranging from like simple everyday pieces to a lot of the more bolder and more eclectic pieces. So right now Ana Luisa has a really good summer promotion that is running for the month of July. If you buy 2 jewelry pieces, you can get 20% off of your order, and if you buy 3 or more pieces, you can get 25% off of your order. They also offer fast international shipping, and their products are both made and packaged sustainably. If you happen to miss this month's sale, you can click the link in my description box and use my discount code for 20% off your purchase. And once again, huge thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. The goods are secured. Then I also went to a bakery. Okay, so while I wait for my food to heat up, let's talk about why I feel so not great right now. I have been querying Local Heavens. There's been some responses. There's been a lot of no responses. Overall, the querying process is just, it is brainworms. Like, you feel like there should be a much better way to go about this process, because it really will have you feeling like you have to put your stories in very clean cut boxes. It's really been doing things to me mentally. The one thing that has really like saved me, I think, through this process is having a support system. Try not to query alone, because I spent the first like week of the query process, maybe 2 weeks, just sending out queries, like, and I hadn't told anyone, mostly because, you know, I was sending out like what I would consider to be test queries. I had fully told myself, like, you're going to be just doing this as a test. But when that first form rejection comes in, even if you are anticipating it, every rejection is still going to sting, and it really just like sent me into a bit of a spiral. You know, there's a lot of things that I can't control on that end, and the only thing I can control is my writing, so I want to focus on that. What I was saying about having a support system, I'm just so grateful to like my writer friends, and specifically to Lynn and Kelly, for just like letting me scream about this whole process at every hour. I think I would have been like in a ditch off a cliff right now if it weren't for them. So yesterday morning I got back a rejection on a partial, which obviously stings way more than a form rejection. And the rejection itself was extremely complimentary. It was essentially, they said it was entirely personal taste. They even said that my writing was really good. They invited me to query them with another project. For personal taste reasons, could not represent it. And I was just so devastated and crushed that morning. I was just doubting everything about Local Heavens. I was doubting why I wrote it, doubting like whether or not anyone would want to take a chance on it, because I hate using this word over and over again, but it is a weird book. It is slower paced than what I usually write. It has just a bizarre premise. So much of the momentum in the book is extremely internal. Meaning that the external plot itself rolls very slowly, but really about the relationships of the characters. And so, you know, in that sense, it's an extremely literary book, but it is like wrapped up in this like absolutely bizarre cyberpunk world. And yeah, I was just seriously like doubting everything about the book. Like I was like, you know what, like once I'm like done with this like batch of queries, like I think I have to stop querying it. I have to write something to market before I can even get Local Heavens in the door. Negative thoughts, and it was so debilitating to the point where I felt like I couldn't write. Yeah, but the agent that sent me the personalized rejection recently, like she stressed so much that it was entirely her personal taste that made her like not pursue the book any further. While it is incredibly kind and compassionate, it's also like I just feel really helpless because I don't know, because there's just nothing you can do about it really, right? Unless you're like trying to like jigsaw your way into making this book feel like something that could be marketed differently, and then you start thinking about how much of my original vision do I have to sacrifice for something that's like more aligned to some subjective, you know, industry people's tastes. Like I don't know, I really don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop thinking about that. I'm gonna eat and then I'm gonna write. So I've been writing for a couple hours on and off, trying to make it through some progress for this short story. I've actually talked about this short story, or I've mentioned it in previous videos. It's called The Fish Can't Leave, and it is it's a sci-fi piece. I started writing it a while ago, but I have kind of been like rewriting it, and today I was just kind of figuring out exactly how I want the ending to play out. So it would require me to slim the story down and like the scale of it about 1,000 words less than what I was originally planning, which I think is doable. I just have to figure out how I want to refocus the piece. I guess it's gonna be a little bit more of a mood piece. So yeah, but I was rewriting a couple scenes today. I don't know, there's something about my prose today that's just not as fresh. Like I think like this particular narrative voice is just something that I've been out of. I don't know, it's different, so I have to like find that voice again. But it is currently 2,000 words. I was able to cut out some stuff, but I mean, it's almost there. Yeah, my descriptions just aren't giving what they need to give right now. That's how I feel. I think I'm just gonna quickly go over some stuff that I wrote today, and I'm going to line edit a little bit. I'm gonna kind of cut some stuff and just kind of polish what's there, and maybe it'll make me feel better. So let's just do some updates. Querying is obviously a very difficult process. I'm fine now. I did feel very confident about the project right after finishing it, if only because I wrote the book very slowly, to the point where I was spending like weeks and weeks at a time on a single chapter. So yeah, I think it was like, compared to my other drafting processes, I definitely felt very confident with this book. And I think it also has to do with like the premise of the book. It made it easier to write, which I know makes no sense right now because I haven't talked about like the details or premise of the book at all. And then I am working on a new book. Yeah, it's happening. I will be writing an adult fantasy book. Yay. So yeah, I have just finished my detailed brainstorming notes for this project. I want the book to be anywhere from 90,000 words to 100,000 words. That's usually how long my books have ended up being at this point. That's what's gonna happen. Not only is it an adult fantasy, it's actually technically going to be a revision of Nightward. Nightward, if you guys remember, is the fantasy book that I wrote last year, which I called the book of my heart. I really loved it. I still do really love it. But having stepped away from it for a year and coming back, you know, I'm coming back as a different writer. Not a completely different writer, but a more mature writer. Which you're probably like, it's only been a year, but honestly, a lot can change in a year. Nightward is a book that I'm proud of, but it is not my best work by my standards now. And so while I do like a lot of the premise, and I do like a lot of aspects about the world, I do like the themes that I was trying to touch in that work, I think I can do it better. This is me declaring that I am basically writing Nightward from the ground up. I am burning it to the ground and I'm writing it from the ground up. It's going to be a completely different book. What is, I think, going to stay the same is the setting. We're going to be pulling from Philippine folklore. It's still going to be touching upon themes of colonialism, but the biggest changes that I'm going to be making are really the plot. The plot is going to change. The characters, guys, I think this was the hardest choice for me to make. If you've been on this channel for a while, you probably know that the main characters of Nightward were Annalyn and Felix. It was a dual protagonist book. I think this book is still going to basically be dual protagonist and that their stories are going to be at the forefront, but I am changing their names. It is going to be like a male and female perspective. The other thing that is changing significantly is the magic system. I was never fully happy with the magic system in Nightward. I have brainstormed a new magic system that I am so incredibly excited. I think the way that the magic system is going to be structured in this new version of the book is going to lend itself a lot more to, like, as a vehicle to explore more complex layered themes. And I think that's the other thing that was severely lacking from the first iteration of Nightward, is that I don't think it was as thematically mature as it could have been. Yeah, it just, like, reading back, especially like the ending of it, it was just very, very messy. And I think the structure of the plot was there, but again, it was just not 100% there. I think now that I've had a lot of distance with the manuscript, I can finally admit to myself that I didn't think about the story as completely as I could have. I still think the book is like really fun. Like the first like half of the book I think is really fun. I almost thought like I might as well just keep the names of the characters even if their personalities and backstories are changing. But then I kind of felt like I don't know, I just feel like Annalyn and Felix are complete characters in my mind. As messy as the original story is, I wrote so much of them that I feel like they are their own characters, and I think it will mess me up as a writer if I keep their characters but I'm trying to write different characters, put new names for the characters, and I think it's like, yeah, I don't know, I think that's better for me as a writer. So I was watching one of Shaylin's videos where they were talking about how to world build using a sort of web method. So I have been trying to do that for this project, and I think I have basically finished all of my brainstorming notes. This is what my world building notes look like right now, by the way. So it looks like chaos, but it makes sense to me. The way that I kind of split it up was like, these are characters over here, these two webs that are connecting, these are characters. You can't see, but there's these like threads that I use to kind of like connect different character relationships and keep track of them and stuff like that. This is world building, these two things here. World building notes. I still have a Google Doc that has like longer notes, but like this is like the bullet point version that's like for me to like easily reference. This one right here with the yellow sticky note is magic system, so everything that's related to the magic in this world. And then I have act 1, 2, 3, and 4 bullet point like main events that need to happen. Here is just like miscellaneous notes, so I don't forget like what thematic beats I want to hit. And that's basically like an overview of my notes at the moment, which I'm using to write my outline. So it's been a while since I've last updated this vlog. So I want to just kind of make a bunch of updates. So I have started working on my chapter by chapter outline. I don't like referring to it as Nightward because the story is completely different. One thing that happens to me when I start outlining, I keep coming up with things that I want to add to the world, so I keep going back into my Miro board and like adding some stuff. One thing that I'm doing, I'm actually starting with the male character's point of view. Like in Nightward, I guess this was Felix. So the two new characters' names, if I haven't said it already, is Valerie and Elijah, which if you watch like one of my older vlogs, I had said that I was writing a contemporary fantasy book where the main characters' names would be Valerie and Elijah, but I actually took the magic system that I was planning for that contemporary book, and I took the basis of it and I'm using it for this book instead, because I think it works a lot better in the context of this world. Yeah, so that's what has happened. That's the vibe. I'm actually going to be starting on Elijah's point of view, which is going to be fun. I think when I was like first envisioning this story, I always envisioned it as starting with Valerie, but I actually think that his place in this world is like, it's like a better entry point for the story, and so I've decided to start with him. But they are equally protagonists, so I think it's fine. So that's where I'm at with the book. I have not made progress on my short story, on the fish story, The Fish Can't Leave. That's the short story that I wanted to like finish within the next few days, but I think I need to prioritize this book, at least for now. And I think I'll just like block out a few days, either hopefully in this vlog, we'll see. But I think I'll block out a few days at some point to just try to finish that story. But right now I have so much momentum with this fantasy book. Oh my god. Alright, this vlog, it has gotten so derailed. Everything that I had planned for this vlog is just so weird right now. I was supposed to finish a short story in this vlog. That has not happened. I don't think it will happen. All I'm gonna say is that there were sort of unexpected developments in my querying journey, basically to the point where I have been going back and forth with a literary agent. It's moved further along in a way that I was not expecting, and if you're not familiar with querying process and what it's like to kind of get a literary agent, a lot of the times agents want to know more about you as a writer beyond the book that you query them with, because usually agents want to represent you for your whole career, so you have to kind of figure out if your tastes align. Because I've had to kind of move really quickly, and also just like life things, like I just wasn't able to like vlog everything the way that I really wanted to. It's definitely not what I was expecting this vlog to be about. So there's that. I did have a lot of ups and downs in this querying journey. After about a month or so of this process, I think I do feel a lot more confident about my writing. Like even if I don't end up getting an agent within this first like month of querying, I still feel really confident about like who I am as a writer and what I want to kind of put out into the world. So as much as I have experienced rejection, I've also experienced a lot of like reassurance in the quality of my writing and in my ideas. So not as stressed as I thought I was gonna be. I am definitely still stressed because like querying is stressful and getting an agent is stressful, but I'm not like super stressed in the sense that I feel like I have to rush to get an agent. It's definitely exciting to kind of be in this spot as a writer right now. I was kind of hesitant about whether I would mention this in this vlog because I guess like here on YouTube you guys didn't even know whether I was querying or not, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm querying and these are like the requests that I've gotten, these are the rejections I've gotten. I didn't want to kind of set up these expectations. A lot of times, like when you put stuff out into the world, the pressure of other people being excited for you makes rejection feel worse. It's kind of like publicly failing is really scary. So again, I don't want to see any of this as failure if it doesn't end up in an offer of representation. But for the last few days that I will be vlogging, I'll try to focus it on actual writing. I have been doing a lot for my fantasy book. Like I've planned out the whole book, the chapter by chapter outlines basically done. I have a whole synopsis. I know what all the characters are gonna do and whatever. I was able to squeeze a little bit of writing in after work for about like 30 minutes, but a lot of it was spent kind of reworking the ending of the short story, or like what I have planned for the ending. I've kind of gone back to the drawing board, which is not what I was anticipating, but I'm gonna try to make some more progress. My brain has been in like fantasy mode because I've been planning a fantasy book. Yeah, the other thing that I wanted to say, Sway With Me is officially out. Links and stuff will be down below. You can read a free preview of it on the ahhh website. They actually posted a really long preview. It's like the first 2 entire scenes, so it's a lot. The story is quite long. It's like over 5,000 words, and I think they posted like 1,000 words maybe. I don't know. It's a pretty long preview. I can finally say that I've made progress on my short story. I didn't expect the short story to give me so much trouble. I don't know, I think it's just like, obviously I spent the last month querying and planning out like my new projects. I haven't actually done a lot of actual prose writing, and I think that's why it was a lot harder for me to get back into writing actual prose. Forced myself to write even though I wasn't in the writing mood. And I don't usually do that unless I'm drafting a book. Like I don't ever force myself to write short fiction. And I feel pretty good, even though the words aren't great. I feel good about sort of teaching myself how to kind of write through a slump, which I usually advocate against. Like I don't think it's always a good thing to like push yourself too much, because obviously it leads to burnout. But the fact that I wrote yesterday, even though I wasn't, even though I didn't feel like writing. I think now that I have worked through some of those changes, a stronger idea of how I want the ending of the short story to go, I'm feeling a lot better. I think what was causing me a little bit of stress is that I felt like I had to put in a whole bunch of different, like a whole bunch of extra beats into the story. Overall, I'm just like feeling better about it, and I'm really excited to just get the first draft done so that I can get into a revision process for this short story. It's very cyberpunky. It's like just it's very my style, I think, when it comes to short fiction, I guess. So yeah, definitely want to make some progress with that. At this point, because I'm sort of slimming down the scenes and I'm getting the word count really tight, almost done the story. Like I have 2 scenes left to write, and one of them is more of like a short reflective vignette. I'm very, very determined to finish this short story very soon. Yeah, the fantasy book, the new working title of the fantasy book is called The Floating House. So I'm no longer gonna be referring to it as like Nightward. Like in some ways it very much is Nightward, but it's like a very new and improved version of Nightward, and the plot is completely changing, and I am retiring Anna and Felix. They were prototype characters for Valerie and Elijah. But I'm moving forward with Valerie and Elijah. I just don't really want to keep Anna and Felix's names. I think it'll be a lot harder for me to write the new characters, even though they are based on Anna and Felix. Valerie and Elijah are going to be our new besties. I don't think I'm going to start like drafting in this vlog. I don't know if I'll talk much more about The Floating House in this video, because again, like I said, I want to be prioritizing some of my short fiction. It's not because I don't want to be writing my new book, it's because I just need a brief break from drafting a novel. Yeah, I always told myself that I would spend the summer writing more short fiction and just kind of taking this time to decompress, because as far as my novel writing goes, I'm definitely in a bit of a limbo. We'll start drafting the floating house next week, maybe the week after. It depends how things go, depends on my mood. If you guys have any questions about my querying process and that whole journey, again, future video. Querying is not something that I have like the mental capacity to think about right now. Just know that if you do have questions, I will answer them in a future video. I am going to get back to writing my short story. I spent today actually reading the entire issue 6.1 of Augur. I didn't actually like sit down and read every single piece, so I did that today. It was such a fulfilling and emotional experience to kind of like read the issue front to back. I wasn't going to reread Sway With Me, but I kind of ended up rereading the piece. Like not entirely, I did skip through some parts, but like it was really, I read sort of like the last few scenes of Sway With Me because I wanted the full experience of reading the issue front to back and to kind of see Sway With Me alongside all the other pieces and poems. It was just really, it was slightly emotional because I don't think that I will ever reread Sway With Me. Like if I do, it'll be probably a long time from now, but I do remember when I turned in those like last edits for the piece, I was kind of like, this is sort of it. Like I want the story and this particular character to just kind of be on their own, and I'm very protective of Marcia's character. Like I feel yeah, I just feel very protective of her because she's been through a lot. After I wrote Sway With Me, I really wrote some short stories, but nothing that I felt compelled to submit anywhere. So I kind of want to get back into that grind, I guess. Alright, I can finally update the vlog with this. The agent that I was speaking to earlier in this video, this agent has officially offered me representation. Like I wasn't expecting any of this to happen. I'll have a whole separate video about this because it was a truly strange and unexpected development in my querying journey. Yeah, but I just kind of wanted to update the vlog. It's so exciting. Yeah, I've had so much time to like process this, and I feel like that's, if it seems like I'm not super excited, I am. It's just that I have kind of been sitting on this for a few days. It'll be a little bit longer before I can like officially talk about everything because there's a lot of things that happen right after you get an offer. I also had to reach out to the other agents who had my manuscript. I did get a couple more requests come in from them, which is typically what happens, especially with really busy agents. They might not even gotten to your query yet. Once you tell them that you have an offer, they will either reject your query or they'll want to see more to see if they're also interested in it. So it's just a lot that I was doing over the last few days, so that's why I was like, what do I do? I was also not sure whether I wanted to put this in the vlog. I feel like it is such an exciting and unexpected development that I was like, I can't believe this is happening. We've hit a huge milestone in my writing journey. I'm so excited to talk more about this later when everything is sorted and signed, but it's very exciting. And thank you guys as always for watching my videos. It's just crazy that I've been able to like document so many milestones on this channel, and I just feel very fortunate, very lucky. I will see you guys in my next video. All right, that is the end of this vlog. Once again, a huge thank you to Ana Luisa for partnering with me. If you guys do want to take advantage of their current promotion, it runs until the end of July. If you buy 2 items, you can get a 20% discount, and if you buy 3 or more items, you can get a 25% discount. Now's a really good time to stock up on some new pieces if you're looking for some new jewelry. And of course, if you missed the sale, link and discount code is in the description box as always. If you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.